Yes, welcome back ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz to the channel. We'll be taking a look at a big question with one really big gun and a triple shot autoloader. Which tank should you get? Should you go for the FV4005, that autoloading tank destroyer in the British tech tree, or should you go for the classic Death Star, the FV215b 183? Both of them, of course, tier 10 tanks, both of them can do a lot of damage. But it basically boils down to one question: do you want to get it in turns, like 1, 2, 3, or do you want to do it one shot at a time? A little bit of an intro here. As you can see, Angel of Death is holding the line here on Falls Creek in his Death Star, together with a Badger and an E100, and there's another tank, FV4005 in front of him. He's just holding the line, he's getting shot, but they've cleared the Badger, and they've basically won the game already over here, having done 3k damage. We're going to take a look at the statistics, compare them a bit. What tank is the better one, the best one in terms of doing the damage for your team. And then, of course, have the final verdict. Which one should you get? And we'll take a look at the tech trees as well, because I think that is something to take into account too when you are grinding for a tank. So, without any further ado, let's hop into a little bit of comparison in terms of statistics. The first one to look at is this one, Zeitgeist Pro from the Blitz Stars website, as you can see. And then you can see that down right here at the bottom, not even at 50% win rate, is the FV215b 183. Of course, it has a large player base, 8.8k players in total, which is pretty much on par with the Girl 15. And the FV4005 has less players playing the tank, 52% win rate, and what's interesting to see is actually the damage ratio, 1.45 versus 1.39. If you're looking at damage ratio, the E3 is the best one, then you get the Hori, as you can see. And again, the Death Star is pretty much the lowest one. The Badger is a little bit lower. As you can see, that one struggles enormously to do damage, but it's a tank that doesn't really get the damage out. It's also not a tank that survives a lot. Object 263 is even worse, but that's a YOLO wagon. But you can see on par, less played. It is not the most brilliant tank there is. FV4005, again, in the middle. Why is that so? Compare the tanks, at least the statistics, that is, on Blitzstars as well, and when you look at this, you can see that the FV4005 has the edge in terms of firepower, except for penetration, but only slight, but also for Alpha, of course. 930 on AP for the Death Star and 460 for the FV4005. But that one has a 3-shot autoloader, so that means they can deal quite a bit of damage, 1380 in a magazine. And 3 seconds reload between shells isn't that bad at all. Penetration wise, good 280, and on APCR you get 370. If you're then going to look at the weapon handling, that's a whole kettle of fish. This tank is far more flexible, 10 degrees of gun depression, as you can see, far better aim time, you have dispersion, it is more maneuverable, as you can see as well. It has better camouflage rating, as you can see. This tank, the Death Star, revolves all around the big gun, around the big hash, 1300 damage, there we go, at 220 in terms of penetration, while the FV4005 does have a hash round, but it's only 65. And it might even be only regular HE. It's 65 in terms of penetration. Not a lot. You can still do very nasty things to light the armor targets. But this one is about just one-shot damage, and this one is about the autoloader. So after this little chatting about stats and stuff, let's put the tanks into action. Got two really good replays for you to show. One of them is from Derp Daddy, as you can see, in the FV4005. And actually, this tank in real life didn't have an autoloader. This was the prototype, the experimental design for the regular Death Star. The Death Star was not a real tank. It wasn't made in real life. It was only a wooden mock-up model. But they did manage to make the gun. They fitted the gun on a, I think it was a Conqueror chassis, or a Centurion chassis. Named it the FV4005 Stage 1 and Stage 2, and at some point it was basically just a chassis with a big gun, And at some point they decided to add a little bit of a turret to it, which is this tank. On console and PC it has the big gun. It's known as the shit barn because it has no armor whatsoever. It's just aluminum reinforced cardboard basically. Everybody will just punch through. This tank is all about one-shot damage. Enter World of Tanks Blitz, where this tank does not have a big gun. Well, it has a big gun, 123mm is nothing to be ashamed of, especially if you can do 3 shots in a row with that aim time. You have big consumables as well that improve reticule. You have that maximum speed boost power thingy in there too. So it is a really good gun, and 460 alpha per shot is really tasty. But on console and PC, this tank had the big gun. It was changed. The regular Death Star is not available there anymore. I think it's like a collectible now on PC. But this is the top of the line on PC. As said, on Blitz you have to get this tank. You can get it as a tier 10, and then you have to start at tier 6. You have to play the Sherman Firefly first, and then you will go towards the Challenger, the Charioteer, the Conway, and then the FV4005. If you want to get the Death Star, the 183, then you have to start all the way down at tier 5. You have to get the 82, then the 88, 87, 80, 15, Tortoise, and then the FV215b 183 Death Star. And I think that grind for the Death Star is one of the worst ones possible in the game, because of the fact that you have such an amount of quick tanks, maneuverable tanks. They have autoloaders, and let's face it, the AT series, they are assault tanks, but they are slow. This one certainly is not. And Derp Daddy is platooned, as you can see, with a Death Star. And I just have to mention this as well. The camo on this tank is looking really good. That's looking really good. Angel of Death has managed to clear at least one tank. That's good. He can shoot once. Yes, there we go. Clear the E75. Then get another shot off. No, not going to happen. Just going to go forward here. Go for the reload. And relocate. Just relocate. And that's what this tank is good at. The Death Star is not good at all at relocating. It's slow. It is a lumbering. It has a big gun, but it has woeful camo rating. It's just, yeah, it is the worst performing tier 10 currently in the game. So we're at 8 minutes into the video now, and we may have already come to the conclusion. If you want to get one of these tanks, go for this one, go for the 4005, because this T-57 Heavy thing, oh, there's a tank behind him. Is he looking at me? Yes, he was looking at you. T-57 Heavy, taken care of, and Derpy is going to run away. Look at that, big speed boost, just running away at, what is it, 48 kilometers per hour. This is like Mad Games. It's somewhat ridiculous. Try doing this in a Death Star, you really can't do that. You could do this in a Death Star, shoot them once. You can't shoot them twice or 3 times, or at least not in a row. And even the reload on this magazine isn't that bad, I think. It's not like an auto reloader, but that would mean it would be really OP. But if you can save your hit points in this tank, then you can be deadly to basically everybody that's around the, let's say, 800 to 1000 region. And Derp Daddy has managed to relocate. He is not spotted by that grill for some reason, but he is not spotted. And then he's going to shoot him once. There we go. And switching to HE twice. Yes, that is 503. Not a monstrous roll, but he's going to clear the grill over there. Lucky with the RNG because the reticule wasn't on the tank. And he's now on the reload. And what he's going to do here is something that you just can't do with a Death Star. Yes, you can reverse, but you will reverse even slower. But you can't do this in a Death Star. You can't go forward and then miss a shot and then shoot one tank again. There we go. And then clear the next one. This is just not possible in a Death Star. It's just not. And then pop the speed boost, just run around. He can't fully rotate the turret. It's only 90 degrees to the left and the right. but neither can the grill. The grill can't fully rotate the turret either, and you can see he moves forward because he still has that speed boost popping, and he misses the shot, shoots under the gun of the grill, but he's behind him, so just reverse backwards, and once, there we go, grill is raising the gun in the air, taking it like a man. 6,000 and something damage dealt, 175 kills, 2 kills for Angel of Death. So they get a Brothers in Arms and a crucial, no, not a Brothers in Arms, crucial contribution for killing 6 tanks in a platoon. Great stuff, great stuff. Well, Martin, you might start thinking of this. You've come to the conclusion now. Why are you going to show this this gameplay then? Well, the Death Star is still a viable tank. I have them both unlocked. I have played them both. This one is big fun. It has a big gun and it's big fun. When is it big fun? When unsuspecting targets drive in front of you and you can shoot them with your big gun, especially with hash. That's going to be really fun. And Orange Juice is going to show us just that in this game. Just hold on to your horses, just watch until the end of the video. There's going to be an hilarious scene at the end of the battle. If you decide to grind these tanks, there's one good thing you should know. Well, wait for it. Oh, there we go. Ooh, lovely. First shot, 1355 damage. At least this is something that the FV4005 can't do. In one shot, deliver 1355 damage. The FV can't do that. But I digress. The good thing is that if you play these tanks, you share a few of the guns. Because the AT-50, for example, that has a 70-pounder AT gun Mark 7 as the starting gun, and that's actually the top gun on the starting gun also on the Challenger. The Challenger gets then a 32-pounder AT gun Mark 2. That's unfortunately not on the AT-15, but it is on the Tortoise. And yes, if you unlock the Tortoise, you already have that gun. But if you would grind these tanks simultaneously, you do get a few guns. And that's something that is... Well, it is at least something. I don't think you have to completely grind the tanks. It's not like as with the light tanks, where you automatically have a head start once you've done the medium tank line. But it's good in a way. It doesn't... Really, you don't really need to grind all the way through. But, as said, the FV215b grind, the 183 grind, that's just not that much fun in the game currently. You can still do this with the tank. Hello, mouse. Bye-bye, mouse. With the hash shot through that flat side of a German super heavy tank, that's just epic. Was this a good moment then, Martin, about it? No, that's going to approach just now. It is going to approach just now, because Reds have got a Foch 155. And Orange Juice has got the hash loaded. And he's gone to the side of the Foch. And that side is wafer thin, as you can see. Hello! Side of a Foch. Thank you. Boom! And then the WZ gets tracked. He's going to roll around. The Foch is going to get cleared by the K91. This projector is thinking, Mamma mia, there's a Death Star on my arse. I have to run away. I can't shoot him. I can't face him. No, of course you can't face him. Then you can drive it to your dead teammate. Stop. Turn the turret. Go. Boom! This is something the FV4005 can't do. So if you want to get a bit of an underwhelming, underperforming meme big gun tank destroyer at tier 10, and you do have this baby unlocked, get it. Is it one that's worth going for at the moment? I don't think so. This is the worst performing tier 10 in the game currently. The FV4005 is so much more flexible. It has got mobility, it has an autoloader, and we all know that autoloaders in the current meta are really useful. They're really valuable. You do have that burst damage. That's a good thing. You can perma-track tanks with the FV4005 at 460 alpha per shot. This tank is a nice one, but when it comes into a hat-to-hat, I would go for the FV4005. And please leave your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, in the comments below. What do you think? Do you have either of these tanks? How do you play them? Do you like them or not? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll catch you all on the next video. Cheers and happy tanking.